You have to be prepared for a lot of different questions, as the interview is your main chance to excel and to get the job. You're going to get a lot of standard questions, and they'll probably start off with questions about your resume. So they'll walk through your resume. Be prepared to explain what you did, who you reported to, what your customer base was, what your function was, stuff like that. So they'll go through, tell me about your current role, tell me about your employer, and then they'll start asking about your current situations. So why are you considering new roles? Make sure you've got an answer for this. Why are you looking around in the first place? They're going to ask you what you're being paid. They're also going to ask you what your pay expectations are. And this can be a bit tricky, because sometimes a person will turn around and say, oh, and you'd be happy to provide us with a pay slip to prove that. Be very careful about telling a white lie about how much you are being paid or how much you'd like to get paid, okay? You can be fairly specific, and please always tell the truth, because if you get caught up on that white lie, it's going to make you a liar, and they'll think that you're a liar about everything, and that's not going to be the case. Once they get past the here and now, then they're going to start asking you some questions about the future. What would you like to do in 1 year, 3 years, 5 years? Situations like that. Now, in my professional experience as a recruiter, people don't usually map out their career like that. I know people talk about climbing the corporate ladder and stuff like that, but if you turn around to a person doing year 12 and you say, what are you going to be doing in 5 years? I've taught all of them that I know to answer a question with a question and say, I don't know, what are you going to be doing in 5 years? You can give your standard answer, but really you've got to have a think about this. What do you want to be doing in 3 years' time? Do you want to be doing the same role? Do you want to change industries? But when you come up with the answer, please take the time to craft it in a way that the client will you will seem more attractive to the client. In 3 years' time, I want to be traveling overseas, having some time off. And they'll go, that's not what we want. So be truthful, but at the same time, be realistic. While you're going through and answering these questions that you asked her, remember, look for common ground. Look for what they want and look for what you've got. That's really important. As you get past the resume questions and your situation questions, you're probably going to get into the other two types of questions, and that's either technical questions or behavioural questions. Now, the technical questions, you're pretty much on your own. If you know it, you know it. If you don't know it, you need to ask them what specific information they're looking for and why they need that information, okay? So qualify rather than saying, oh, I don't know anything about that. Behavioural questions, now these are a bit trickier, but there is a very simple rule that I've taught hundreds of thousands of people, well not hundreds of thousands, hundreds, maybe 1,000 people to do when they start getting asked behavioural questions, and that's the S.A.R. rule. So it's situation, action and response. So the first thing you get in a behavioural question, it might be like, tell me about the time you faced a challenge you had to overcome. Number 1, situation, tell them what was happening. Number 2, action, tell them what you did. And number 3, the response from that action, tell them what the outcome was. And that's the best way to get through behavioural questions. Apart from that, you're not going to be hit with anything else at an interview. And if you can talk about your resume, talk about your current situation and your future situation, and talk about answering technical or behavioural interviews, you'll do really well.